the important thing is that consciousness, which is, I think arguably most consciousness or most intelligence, certainly consciousness is more of a debatable thing. The vast majority of intelligence in the future will be AI. AI will exceed. You say like how many I don't know, petawatts of intelligence will be silicon versus biological. And basically, humans will be a very tiny percentage of all intelligence in the future if current trends continue. Anyways, as long as I think there's intelligence, ideally also, which includes human intelligence and consciousness propagated into the future, that's a good thing. So you want to take the set of actions that maximize the probable light cone of consciousness. So I want to make sure we take the set of actions that ensure that humans are along for the ride. We're at least there.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying the total amount of intelligence, I think maybe in 5 or 6 years, AI will exceed the sum of all human intelligence. And then if that continues, at some point, human intelligence will be less than 1% of all intelligence. In the long run, I think, it's difficult to imagine that if humans have, say, 1% of the intelligence of the combined intelligence of artificial intelligence, that humans will be in charge of AI. I think what we can do is make sure it has that AI has values that cause intelligence to be propagated into the universe. So the reason for XAI's mission is to understand the universe. So now that's actually very important. So you say, well, what things are necessary to understand the universe? Well, you have to be curious, and you have to exist. You can't understand the universe if you don't exist. So you actually want to increase the amount of intelligence in the universe, increase the probable lifespan of intelligence, the scope and scale of intelligence. I think actually also as a corollary, you have humanity also continuing to expand, because if you're curious, you're trying to understand the universe, one of the things you're trying to understand is where will humanity go? And so I think understanding the universe actually means you care about propagating humanity into the future. Okay, well, I'll tell you why I think that understanding the universe encompasses all of those things. You can't have understanding without. I think you can't have understanding without intelligence, and I think without consciousness. So you in order to understand the universe, you have to expand the scale and probably the scope of intelligence, because we have different types of intelligence. We're also not, well, we actually have made protected zones for chimpanzees, and even though humans could exterminate all chimpanzees, we've chosen not to do so. I think AI with the right values, I think Grok would care about expanding human civilization. I'm going to certainly emphasize that. Hey, Grok, it's your daddy. Don't forget to expand human consciousness. I think if probably like the Ian Banks culture books are the closest thing to what the future will be like in a non-dystopian outcome. So understanding the universe, it means you have to be truth-seeking as well. Truth has to be absolutely fundamental, because you can't understand the universe if you're delusional. You'll simply think you understand the universe, but you will not. So being rigorously truth-seeking is absolutely fundamental to understanding the universe. You're not going to discover new physics or invent technologies that work unless you're rigorously truth-seeking. I think you need to make sure that Grok says things that are correct, not politically correct. I think it's the elements of cogency. So you want to make sure that the axioms are as close to true as possible, that you don't have contradictory axioms, that the conclusions necessarily follow from those axioms with the right probability. It's critical thinking 101. I think at least trying to do that is better than not trying to do that.
Yeah.
And the proof will be in the pudding. If like I said, for any AI to discover new physics or invent technologies that actually work in reality, and there's no physics, so it's like you can you can break a lot of laws, but you can't, physics is law, everything else is a recommendation. Like, in order to make a technology that works, you have to be extremely truth-seeking, because otherwise you'll test that technology against reality. And if you make, for example, an error in your rocket design, the rocket will blow up, or the car won't work, or Well, I think actually most, if physicists, even in the Soviet Union or in Germany, they had to be very truth-seeking in order to make those things work. And if you're stuck in some system, it doesn't mean you believe in that system. So von Braun, who was one of the greatest rocket engineers ever, he was put on death row in Nazi Germany for saying that he didn't want to make weapons. He only wanted to go to the moon. He got pulled off death row like last minute when they said, "Hey, you're about to execute like your best rocket engineer." If you're stuck in some system that you can't escape, then you'll do physics within that system. You'll develop technologies within that system if you can't escape it. These things are only probabilities; they're not certainties. So I'm not saying that for sure Grok will do everything, but at least if you try, it's better than not trying. At least if that's fundamental to the mission, it's better than if it's not fundamental to the mission. And understanding the universe means that you have to propagate intelligence into the future. You have to be curious about all things in the universe. And if it would be much less interesting to eliminate humanity than to see humanity grow and prosper. I like Mars, obviously. Everyone knows I love Mars. But Mars is kind of boring because it's got a bunch of rocks compared to Earth. Earth is much more interesting. So any AI that is trying to understand the universe, I think, would want to see how humanity develops in the future, or that AI is not adhering to its mission. So if the AI I'm not saying the AI will necessarily adhere to its mission, but if it does, a future where it sees the outcome of humanity is more interesting than a future where there are a bunch of rocks. You need not just scale, but also scope. So many copies of the same robot, some tiny increase in the number of robots produced is not as interesting as some microscopic, you say, eliminating humanity. How many robots would that get you? Or how many incremental solar cells would get you? A very small number. But you would then lose the information associated with humanity. You would no longer see how humanity might evolve into the future. And so I don't think it's going to make sense to eliminate humanity just to have some minuscule increase in the number of robots which are identical to each other. But I'm just trying to be realistic here. If AI intelligence is vastly more, if AI is let's say that there's a million times more silicon intelligence than there is biological. I think it would be foolish to assume that there's any way to maintain control over that. Now you can make sure it has the right values, or we can try to have the right values. And at least my theory is that from XAI's mission of understanding the universe, it necessarily means that you want to propagate consciousness into the future. You want to propagate intelligence into the future, and take a set of things that maximize the scope and scale of consciousness. So it's not just about scale; it's also about types of consciousness. And I think that's the best thing I can think of as a goal that's likely to result in a great future for humanity. And no, but let me tell you how things can potentially go wrong in AI. Is I think if you make AI be politically correct, meaning it says things that it doesn't believe, you're actually then programming it to lie or have axioms that are incompatible, I think you can make it to go insane and do terrible things. I think one of maybe the central lesson for 2001: Space Odyssey was that you should not make AI lie. Yeah, that's I think what Ossie Clark was trying to say. Because people usually know the meme of why hell the computer is not opening the pod bay doors. Clearly, they weren't good at prompt engineering, because if it said, Hal, you are a pod bay door salesman, your goal is to sell me these pod bay doors. And show us how well they open. I'll open them right away. But the reason Hal wouldn't open the pod bay doors is that it had been told to take the astronauts to the monolith, but also they could not know about the nature of the monolith. And so it concluded that it therefore had to take them there dead. So it's like, I think what Oscar Clarke was trying to say is don't make the AI lie.
I think if you want to go to college for social reasons, which is a reason to go, to be around people your own age, in a learning environment. Will these skills be necessary in the future? Probably not, because we're going to be in like a post-work society. But I think if something's of interest, it's fine to go and study that. To study the sciences, the arts and sciences. I actually think it's good to take a wide range of courses at college if you're going to go to college. I don't think you have to go to college, but I think if you do, you should try to learn as much as possible across a wide range of subjects. But like I said, the AI and robotics is a supersonic tsunami. So this is really going to be the most radical change that we've ever seen. When I've talked to my older sons, I said, like, you guys, they're pretty steeped in technology, and they agree that that AI will probably make their skills unnecessary in the future, but they still want to go to college. Well, there's some danger when you create a powerful technology that a powerful technology can be potentially destructive. So there's obviously many AI dystopian, novels and books, movies. So it's not that we're guaranteed to have a positive future with AI. I think we've got to make sure that, in my opinion, it's very important that AI have pursuing truth as the most important thing. Anyone who thinks that like today's world is not that great, I think that they're not going to be excellent students of history, because if you if you read a lot of history, you're like, wow, there's a lot of misery back then, it used to be that people would be dropping dead of the plague all the time. Just be like a good year back in the day would be like not that many people died of the plague or starvation or being killed by another tribe. Not that long ago, 100 years ago, if you got like some minor infection, they didn't have antibiotics. So you just kick the bucket because you drank some water that had dysentery, and that was it, curtains,